frequency in use, please? Is the frequency in use, please? And nothing is heard. CQ, CQ, CQ40, 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 CQ40. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. 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 CQ40, CQ on 40.
GW4 X-ray Sierra X-ray.
Okay, I've got GW4 X-Ray Sierra X-Ray. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling me. That was a nice quick one. You were straight in there after about 2 calls, I think. But the name this side is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. And I'm the other side of the country from you. I'm in Sidcup in Kent, about 15 miles southeast of the city of London itself. Let's find out who you are, where you are, and I'll give you a report on the next over and some technical details if you need them. GW4 XSX, this is M0 JCF.
Yeah, okay, I haven't got your call sign. From GW4 X-ray Sierra X-ray, name is Mike. I'm just outside Aberystwyth. And a very good afternoon to you, Mark. I've had a problem with the radio. I wanted a radio check, and so I heard you calling, and I thought, oh, there's a good opportunity. But I've been getting a lot of oscillation coming off. Only on 7 megs. I don't know why. It should be that. So anyway, I've changed the microphone, and it seems to have cured it. So I must have a bad or if there's something on the other microphone. Anyway, not too bad of a day here. Not raining for a change, but looks like it's going to rain. Anyway, over to you, Mark, from GW4XSX 5 and 9, by the way, over.
Yeah, GW4XSX. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. There's your call sign, Mike. Nice to meet you. Aberystwyth. You know, I went there for a holiday in I can't remember it. I think it was 97. Yeah, 1997, we went to Aberystwyth for a week. There you go. It's my claim to fame in that area. But you're varying between 5 and 8 and 5 and 9 plus 5. It's like a little bit of QSB, but obviously perfectly readable throughout that range. The radio I'm using today is an old TS-830S, an old Kenwood Trio TS-830S, running about 100 watts from the back of the radio, and the antenna is a random long wire. It's 90 feet long, and the major part of it being about 25 feet above the ground. So a great Envis antenna on 40 meters, and yeah, I can't hear any spurious oscillations, etc. You know, nothing. Well, there's nothing on your signal. You know, like RF. You get RF on the audio. Well, I'm not hearing that at all. So whatever you've done has fixed whatever problem you had. But I've got to say that if I'm going to have problems, RF in the shack, whatever, anything like that, it's always on 40 meters. Never get it above 40 meters. Rarely do I see anything below. And sometimes I know there's a problem, Mike, because I'll get a very slight RF shock off of the metal parts of a microphone. The microphone I'm using today is the Kenwood MC50 desk mic. I've got it locked down, so I don't have to touch any metal parts, but I do know that I'm not getting any RF at the moment. So that's the story, Mike. GW4 X-Ray Sierra X-Ray, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Mike 0 Charlie. Charlie Foxtrot, I don't know. I think I might have got your call sign wrong. Sorry about that, Mark. I'm a little bit slow on the old call signs. But yeah, fine business. Well, that radio sounds really choice. I've worked on one of those quite a lot over the years. The different people have bought them for me to repair, and it's a very, very nice radio. And I know my mate's got one, but he's got no readers on it, and he can't use his analog. Whereas me, I don't care what it is. I'm quite good on analog radios, so it's not a problem to me. But I'm using the Mark V at the moment, and yeah, it's usually on 7 megs, isn't it, where you have problems like that. So I guess it's a bladder on the microphone. I was using the MD100 that came with the radio. So, but I'm on the same microphone as you, the MC50, and it's a mic I've had for donkey's years. Ever since I was an amateur, even before I was an amateur, I used this microphone. So it's done me well. There we go. Anyway, yeah, you're a good 5 and 9. Sometimes down a little bit, but very little QSB on my side, anyway. So back to you, Mark, from GW4X.
Yeah, GW4XSX M0JCF. Oh, absolutely great. You're sounding good on that microphone. I've got an MD100 as well. I haven't used it for some time. If I remember rightly, the last time I had it wired up was for a Yaesu FT757GX. So that's what it's been wired for. And I don't have a 757GX. And yeah, I get lazy. I can't be bothered to keep swapping plugs around. Every time I change a radio, I've got to swap a plug. You know, the TS-830S is my all-time favourite radio. I know it doesn't have AM, I know it doesn't have FM, and you know, it's just hand bands and walk bands, and you know, you can't sort of go continuous from DC to light and all that old nonsense. But I always wanted one back in the day. I'll give you a bit of background, Mike. I failed the RAE in 1978, and into HF, so I failed the RAE. I was a teenager, and I threw my toys out the pram, and I decided I don't want to be a bloody ham, that nonsense. They came out around about 1980, didn't they? And I remember seeing them in Practical Wireless and magazines like that. I always wanted one. And of course, I didn't have a ham license, so I couldn't justify the expense. I think at the time I was still an apprentice. I'd left school and I was a 16, 17-year-old apprentice. But anyway, couldn't justify it. And when I finally got my license in 2017, I wanted one. But now the prices were expensive because of nostalgia. Well, as luck would have it, like buses, 3 come along at once fairly recently in the last couple of years, maybe the last 3 years. 3 have come along at once. All had varying degrees of problems, but they're the stock faults that you get with them. So power supply, filter capacitors, screen grid resistors, and the band switch. Oh, the band switch, notorious. At the moment, this one doesn't do 10 megahertz. It doesn't do 21 megahertz because I think the band switch even needs cleaning or realigning. But we'll get round that at some time. I don't have the other 2. I've since passed them on. I used them to death and passed them on. But, I've got lots of old radios, Mike, and this one in particular is the one that's always going to hang around, I think. I've got an IC 7300 in front of me. I've got an FT 101E, a Swan 350, and a few other bits and pieces in the HF range. But, this one is the one that I'll dip into the others every now and again. But, if I'm going to work one and have a bit of fun with it, then it's generally it's the TS-830S. But that was a long old ramble. Oh, just in case you want to know, here in the southeast, pouring with rain. I suppose it started raining on and off at about midday, and it's been pretty continuous for the last hour, I suppose. I was out in the garden cutting up plywood. I'm remodeling my bathroom, and I needed to cut up some plywood for the flooring, and it was a bit dangerous out there. I was using mains, power tools, jigsaw, etc. So I decided, I'll go and play it safe and have a go on the radio instead. So that's the story, mate. GW4XSX M0JCF.
M0JCS from Jeff. I get it in a minute. From GW4XSX. Sorry about that, Mike. And yeah, fine business. Oh, well, it sounds really choice. Nice audio. Very constant signal. In actual fact, you were about 5 and 9 foot, about 10 dB on the last over, so you're very, very good. And of course, you were just running 1890 watts or something like that, or close to 100. And I'm running 200 at the moment on the Mark 5. So, you know, you're doing better than me, really. And I'm using just a dipole at the moment. And like you, I got quite a collection of radios. I've got rid of a few of them because it was getting, I was having too many radios, and my wife keeps saying, well, you can only use one radio at a time, you know. Anyway, I always fancied the FT-847, which I've got, and my 990, that's my favourite radio of all time, is the 990. I don't use that much now, but it's on the bench here, and I can use it. It's been a super radio. I bought that about 20 years ago, I expect. And it's never given a hiccup of trouble. Well, neither is the Mark 5. I mean, that's been quite reliable. The FT-847, that's got a fault on it, which I've got to get in and have a look. That breaks into oscillation as well. I seem to have a problem with that sort of problem, but we'll soon sort that out anyway. But it's the trouble is, I'm pretty old now, Mark, and my eyesight's not as good as it was, and I'm waiting to go and have some cataracts done. And I suppose once I've done that, I'll be able to see all the bits in there. But I don't know how they pack it all in that radio, because it's not very big, but it's got everything on, isn't it? There we go. Anyway, back to you from GW4X.
Yeah, GW4XSX M0JCF. Well, the radio you're using's working, and you know I'm 63. I was 63 last week, and was it at the weekend? No, it was at the weekend. So I'm lucky. I've been retired 3 years, just over 3 years. So you know, I've got plenty of time to muck about. But I know what you're saying about the eyesight. It's funny. It's only in the last 2 years I've started using reading glasses, and I noticed just recently that now I'm reaching for the reading glasses all of the time. Before it was quite intermittent, and now I'm getting into the reading glasses, and I noticed when I'm working on radios that I have to use those magnifying type glasses, otherwise yeah, I really am stuffed. I mean, surface mount technology I am struggling with a bit, but even now, you know, quarter watt resistors are getting quite difficult to read, especially used ones where they've got a bit discoloured with age. But you know, I suppose it comes to us all eventually, and we just have to, you know, live with it and move on, I suppose, and you know, just carry on. I'm just going to carry on as best I can, and then when I can't do it anymore, that's when I'll probably offload most of it to someone else, and I'll just become an operator with 1 or 2 radios. So that's the story, mate. Yeah, it's lovely to get you in the logbook. Just so you know as well, I was doing a live stream. I don't know if it's streaming at the moment. I was doing a live stream on one of the Facebook groups. What I did is I started it up because we were talking earlier in the group about 40 meters, you know, was it busy, etc. Well, yesterday it was horrendously busy. Today it isn't so busy, and I had to find a spare bit of frequency, and I thought, I know, I'll start up a live stream. If people come and watch it, then they'll see the frequency on the on the video, and maybe come and jump in. And I was going to ask, actually, were you one of those people? But I don't believe you were, because you said you were looking for a test of the radio. GW4XSX M0JCF.
Yeah, well, no, not at all. I just happened to spin the dial round to where you were calling there, Mark. And I got hold of you. I did call in on a couple of amateurs a bit higher up on the band. And I called several times, and one of them said, well, I heard the bridge station there. And they still didn't call me in, so I give up on them at all, of course. So there we are. I thought that was a bit rude, but there we are, and it doesn't matter. There's always plenty else plenty of other people on the band, and I'm glad I did come down and call you, Mark. Good to chat with you, it really is. What else? Well, I'm an electronics engineer by trade, so you know, that's why I repair all my own stuff. But I do repair other people's stuff. I repaired one of these Mark 5s not so long ago. The power supply had gone down on it. Boy, it's a complicated radio to work on. It really is. And of course, I really struggle because of my eyes. And like you, I've got glasses. I've got magnifying glasses. But you can't beat just using your ordinary eyes, can you? Anyway, hopefully in the next month or so, I'll have my cataract done and I'll be like a new man. Well, I will be a new man because I'm in my 80s there, Mark. So, you know, most of my life is gone, I suppose. But I do enjoy my amateur radio. And I work Australia every morning on 20 metres. Les, VK2 CPC, he's on every morning. And so I always chat to him. And then of course, I go on 80 metres then to the local net. But this morning, you know, we went on to 7 megs before we went on to 20 metres, and my mate who lives down the road, he said, oh my God, he said, I can't understand what you're saying. He said, you've really got a problem. So that's how I knew 7 megs wasn't working. Anyway, I came in this afternoon, because I don't normally work the radio in the afternoon, just to check it over. Right, that's a long over. You're probably bored to death, but anyway, back to you, Mark. From GW4XSX, over. Right.
Yeah, brake station acknowledged. 1 second, mate. The brake station, just 1 second. GW4 X-ray Sierra X-ray Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Yeah, absolutely fine, mate. No, you're never boring. We wouldn't do it if it was boring. Then why would we pick up a microphone and talk to complete strangers? But yeah, it's fantastic what you're doing. And you know, you say you're in your 80s. My nan, I mean, she passed away in 2018. She was 98 and a half. She was emphasised the half because she really wanted her letter from the Queen, you know, her telegram from the Queen for reaching 100. But she had 18 months to go, and the poor old dear, unfortunately, it just got the better of her. You know, life just went away. No diseases that we sort of, you know, associate with a quick death or anything. She just reached it. So you may well do it yourself, mate. You'll have to keep these radios going because you might be here a lot longer than you imagine. But anyway, listen, Mike, we've got a brake station. I want to bring him in. And if you want to stay on and you can maybe get a report from them as well. It's always good to get more than just one report. So the brake station, thanks for your patience. Appreciated. If you'd like to come in with your call sign. And I'm Mark. I'm in the southeast of England, Sidcup, Kent, and the call sign's Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Yeah, many thanks. The sign here is Mike 0 November India Mike. So many thanks for letting me in. Just want to do a quick check on my antenna. I just put up a quick dipole for 40-20 metres. Just wanted to get a signal report, see if it's working. That's you, many thanks.
Yeah, no problem. What was your name and what's the location? Your report is a 5 and 9. Absolutely no problem with the signal, and I can hear every word you say. What's the name and the location, mate? Back to you.
Yeah, the name here is Julian. Juliet Uniform Lima India Alpha November. Julian's my name. Is approximately 20 kilometres north of the city of Bristol. So about what? 13 miles north of the city of Bristol, near the old Southern Crossing, over to Wales. About 3 miles from there. Back to you.
Yeah, no problem. Mike 0 November India Mike Julian, just north of Bristol. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot in company with Golf Whiskey 4 X-ray Sierra X-ray Mike Aberystwyth. So I would imagine that you're pretty much in between the pair of us, and I'm receiving him sort of the same signal strength, etc. as you. I'm using a 90-foot random wire, and my radio today days, the old Trio TS-830S, an old hybrid radio, about 45 years old, putting out about 100 watts on 40 meters. So if you want to get a second opinion, and I know that Mike has been having problems, which I think he's corrected, and he was asking me for a report based on, you know, his problems. So if you want to give Mike a call, Julian, he's, as I say, call sign is Golf Whiskey 4 X-Ray Sierra X-Ray, and you can both swap reports and swap notes. And but you're 5 and 9 clear as a bell to me, all things considered, when 40 meters can get noisy. So over to you, Julian, to give Mike a call. M0JCF standing by.
Many thanks for that. Hi there, Mike. Julian, November India, Mike. Unfortunately, I don't have a pen and paper to hand. I'm doing this a very quick ad hoc, so I was unable to get your call sign down. I understand you're at TW0, but very pleased to make your acquaintance over there in Upper Ipswich. Yes, well, I can hear there's a little bit of QFC in this end, but you're coming to about 5.8, 5.75 end, a little bit of QFC. That's you.
Yes, okay, Julian. From GW4 X-Ray, Sierra X-Ray, return to the group. Yeah, well, you were about 5 and 9 with a little bit of QSB, Julian, but no problem at all. And yeah, I'm just about 2 miles north of Aberystwyth, and you're coming through well, so no problem on your signal. And of course, Mark is very good as well. Anyway, I won't hold it. I'll leave you with Mark. But thanks for the chat, Mark. Enjoyed it. Hopefully we can have another chat. And Julian, you take care as well, and we'll talk to you boys further down the log, hopefully, anyway. So this is GW4 X-Ray, Sierra X-Ray going QRT, and thanks, Mark, for the radio check in the beginning. Cheers, Julian.
Yeah, many thanks. 7-3. Hope to catch you again before too long.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. GW4XSX, M0JCF. Lovely speaking to you. And yeah, you wasn't boring at all. And of course, a G4, octogenarian and everything else in between. It's never going to be dull, is it? It's always going to be something interesting to talk about. Yeah, and you just rave on. You'll find me anytime. Come and say hello again. We'll do it again. Well, Julian, I hope that you've got a test. So what was it you were testing? You were testing your antenna, and what was the initial problem? Back to you.
I was just putting up just a quick dipole. I've had a bit of a problem with the exit halfway. That down to the repair. Doing quite a while. It's been a long time. It's getting a bit worn. I had a bit of wires about the right length for a dipole. I thought, why don't I try and make it the 2 bands for 40 and 20? It's a short one for 40, but it has bit coils and whatever, so I had a look to see what I got, and basically hashed this together and stuck it up about 4 meters on a pole, and I thought I'll just throw a signal out and see what happens. So how well it's worked. And yeah, many thanks for coming back to me, much appreciated. I'll hand the mic back to you.
Yeah, M0NIM, M0JCF. Absolutely no problem, mate. It's what it's all about, and I find 40 meters absolutely fantastic for this sort of thing, you know, antenna testing, radio testing, amplifier testing, mic testing, power supply hum testing. You know, I think 40 meters is fantastic. My noise floor has crept up. In the last hour, it's gone from Santiago 5 to Santiago 7. I find that's always the case in the afternoon. I've not long come off of 10 meters. There were some interesting ones out there. Grenada was one. The usual Brazil, the Labre, LABRE, 92 years of Brazilian amateur radio. There's a few of those stations were coming up on 10. The usual suspects out of Moscow, etc. They're always strong. I heard a mobile station down in Morocco, and a few Middle East ones, Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Couldn't hear any on the Far East. I mean, they're in darkness now, but I didn't hear any Far East. Nothing from South Africa, and the USA and Canada, very, very quiet. I heard a few East Europeans working a few stateside, but I'm assuming they were using beams because I certainly wasn't hearing the stateside side. So I just decided to come to 40 meters. I fired up my my Facebook group, a UKCBN amateur radio, not mine, but the one that I use, put on a live stream and just sort of try to encourage people on the 40 meters and come and have the rag chew like we're having now. But it's working for you anyway. The antenna, the dipole, is working for you, I think, is the short answer. M0 NIM, M0 JCF.
My problem is then I have a sensor for 80 meters, but unfortunately I've got a neighbour that's 3 doors down who's rather opposed to actually anything that we can see, and whatever, I have to take it down, so I know it's a company that's going to start me. Around up to 20 meters, basically hanging on the tree, so you can't see it.
Frequencies in use.
This fell up about 4 meters at the moment, and I've got a furiously can't see it. Now I know it works, I thought I'd probably put it up onto the roof of the house and just lay it on in the guttering and see how that works. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was working and I got the length right. Sort of a trial and error, so did all the theories, and after all, no practice, you see, you don't always quite marry up, but this is really good. Very encouraging. So if you get died there, I'll stick it onto the roof. It seems to be working well. I've not actually been on the radio very much because of these issues I've been experiencing, but we'll get from there. Anyway, Mike back to you, Mike.
Yeah, the frequency's in use. The person whistling, the frequency is in use, sir. Please can you QSY or at least move away very slightly? Would be appreciated. Thank you. Okay, Julian, well, you know, experimentation is what this hobby's all about. I'm very lazy with antennas. I'll throw up a random long wire, put on a 9-to-1 un, and that's good enough for me for the lower bands. I like more messing about with the inside of the older radios like this old TS-830S. Right, well, your signal was consistently that time, Julian, on the Santiago 7, which is my noise floor today, and you was getting a little bit marginal between a readability 4 and a readability 5, so I caught most of what you were saying, but as soon as somebody wants to tune up or whistle or talk nearby, I feel sure it would have been quite impossible to hear what you were saying. So can I cut it short there? I mean, you're more than welcome to stay on the frequency, but we might get you some more reports. But I'm just going to move on, make a few more contacts. Just looking at the clock, we're coming up to 3 p.m. and then I'm probably going to call it a day anyway. So great speaking to you. Great getting you in the logbook. I'm glad I was able to help with the testing, and yeah, interesting what you're doing with the antennas. As I say, I'm very, very lazy with antennas. It's surprising that I actually managed to put a signal out beyond the coax. But I'll listen for any final from you, Julian, and as I say, if you do want to hang around and you do want to break in for further reports, you're more than welcome. It's what it's all about. M0 NIM, M0 JCF. I'll say 73 now, just in case, because this is quite short skip, just in case I lose you completely, and I really don't want you thinking that I'm ignoring you. M0 NIM, M0 JCF. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to call it again myself now. That's all it's got. duties I must attend to this afternoon, other half on the phone, so yeah, I also call it a 7-3, but many thanks for your help, much appreciated. Double back in the log, and hope it's been before too long, so many thanks again, 7-3 from Bristol.
Yeah, an absolute pleasure, mate, and you're welcome anytime. As I say, normally you'll catch me on 10 and 12 metres, and sporadic E. It'd be great to work you on 10 or 12 sporadic E. We probably couldn't do it ground wave or any other skip. And if not, find me on 40, 60 or 80, and I'm always lurking around those bands. Not on this radio. This radio won't do 60 metres, but we'll do it again soon, I'm sure. You take care and have a great day. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, looking for anyone on 40.
0, November, Whiskey X-Ray, George 0, Norway, Whiskey X-Ray.
Yeah, I think two of you came in, but definitely the stronger one, and the fact that you gave me a call sign twice, thank you. G0NWX, this is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. The name is Mark, Mike, Alpha, Romeo, Kilo. I'm in Sidcup in Kent, so just 15 miles southeast of London. I'll give you the report on the next over, and I'll give you some technical details, and then I'll bring in the other station that also called in. So I'll just make it quick to start with, but I'm not brushing you off. Just hang around and we'll have a proper rag you. G0 NWX M0 JCF.
Yeah, G0 NWX. Good afternoon, Mark. Thanks. I have got the info. I've been listening for quite some time now, and I did pick you up on Facebook. I could see the frequency, so I thought I'd come and have a nose. I just want to quickly call in and say I enjoy your QRZ page and your inputs on Facebook. And I recently bought one of those USDX HF transceivers which you previewed or you've got. And fine bit of kit. I've not used it yet. I'm using it on the VW. But I intend to use it from the caravan or rather the moto in the summer. But a great bit of kit. This end is an STDX 101 micropart running around 150 watts into a S-fed for 40 metres, which is actually an inverted V with its apex is about 12 metres and inner end is about 7 or 8. So back to you there, Mark. G0NWX.
Yeah, G0NWX M0 JCF. Darren, I recognise the names. I certainly recognise the pretty sure I recognise the surname from that Facebook group. I'm glad you picked up on the Facebook group. Absolutely fantastic. It shows that it works. I think, it's completely different from what I remember ham in the 70s and 80s, when I was a shortwave listener and possibly a pirate. But let me just retune my transceiver slightly. I've drifted upwards about 50 to 100 hertz. There we go. Sorry if I'm tuning all over the place while I'm talking to you. Bad form, sir. But yeah, I'm using the TS-830S today. You've seen it, haven't you, on the live stream? And I'm using 100 watts, etc. You know all of this, as you say. You've heard about it. But yeah, you're 5 and 9 to me on this particular radio. 5 and 9. Where are you? I'm trying to work out where you are. You can tell me where you are, Darren. But it's absolutely tipping it down with rain here. I'm in the garage and I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it sounds like somebody dropping ball bearings up there on the garage roof. But that's the story, mate. 5 and 9, and yeah, your audio quality very good. Now then, I do believe someone else called in, Darren, so I'll just get a reply from you. Then I don't want to hold people up. I want to bring the other people in as well. They may well have joined in the same way you did. G0 November Whiskey X-ray, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Yeah, G0 into it. Okay, Mark, all copy, no problem. You're about a 5 by 8, 5 by 9, no problem at all. And that old radio is doing a fine job there, mate. He's doing a great job. I do love to see the old radios. I wish I'd kept all mine that I've had over the years. I started off with an HW100, and I've had some great reasons, but I don't tend to keep them. But when I see people like yourself, and there's a lad up in Birmingham called Paul who's got a great collection as well, I think bloody hell, I wish I'd have kept all mine. And yeah, Mark, I'm not going to hold it. I'm going to shoot off. I'm just about to have something to eat. So I'll say 73, I'll put it back to you, and then I'm going to disappear. Great to contact you. I've seen you loads of times on Facebook, and great to get you on 40. And if you hear me on, give me a shout, and likewise I will do. And fair play on the live stream. It's a great way of getting some contacts, for you. Mike 0 JCF G0NWX 73 is on, man. Take care.
Yeah, cheers, mate. And I meant to answer you about the SDX. Yeah, I've had a couple of the commercial ones, and I've had a couple of the kit-built ones. I do have a kit-built one, but it's got a slight fault on it, so I need to sort that out, and I'll probably use it again. But absolutely fantastic to get you in the logbook today. You take care, Darren, and yeah, look forward to working you again. And of course, you're on the live stream yourself, so you can tag yourself on it if you want, or you can download the video, do whatever you like with it, mate. I've got no right to it whatsoever, and I'll probably just like put it on my YouTube channel later. But take care, and I'll say goodbye for now and bring in the other break station. Apologies for making you wait if you're still there. QRZ Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo. Return.
Mike 7 Tango Lima Foxtrot.
Okay, I've got two Mike 7s there. I've written you both down. I've got Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo to start with, and I've got Mike 7 Tango, I think it was Charlie Foxtrot, or maybe Tango Lima Foxtrot. Apologies for that. What I've done is I scribbled the call signs down really quickly. So I'll go with M7GYK first, and then I'll go with M7T. Is it either an L or a C? I can't read my writing. F. We'll go with you next. So you're in me book, mate. Don't worry about it. So no further ado. M7 Golf Yankee Kilo. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot Mark in Sidcup in Kent, southeast of England.
Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo. Operator Terry Tango Echo Romeo Romeo Yankee. We've spoken before, Mark. You're in the low running, you're in the rental. Just great to hear you. Pop in and say good afternoon, sir. The station you was talking to about 12 minutes ago, I believe it was down in Bristol. Full setup. Five plus 20. You yourself in the standard 5 and 9 mark. So things are working okay at the moment. So Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo returning to Mike 0 JCF.
Yeah, M7GYK, Terry, thanks for contacting me again, apparently. Terry, I'm going to be rude and say I don't remember. I'd have to wait until I put you into QRZ, and then, of course, the information will be in front of me. I do keep a paper logbook, and, yeah, it's all good fun. But sometimes people say, yeah, I've worked you 3 or 4 times, and I interact with you on Facebook, and I'm thinking, what? Hang on a minute. I sort of, all these information comes in at once, and I have to try and sort it out in my head. But Terry, you're 5 and 8 to me. 5 and 8, little bit of QSB downwards on the noise floor, making you around about a 4 and 7. But I'm using the 90-foot random wire. I'm using 100 watts from the radio. The microphone's the MC50 by Kenwood, and of course you know the radio's the TS-830S, the old 45-year-old hybrid radio. But when your signal is up, Terry, you're sounding good, mate. You're sounding good, and glad to have you on board. Stand by, Terry. I would like to bring in the other station, otherwise he may well get bored and disappear. The Mike 7 Tango Foxtrot. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Sorry to keep you waiting. Yeah, M7 TLF Yeah, I should have gone with my gut feeling the first time. I thought it was TLF. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot returning for you, and I'll give you a report on the next over. We've got quite a crisp, clear, very trebly audio. A great audio for what I would call DX. You know, not over processed, not over compressed, and all that old nonsense. It's got a nice crisp sharpness to it. As for the signal strength, I don't know just yet. I think you've got all the information, Tim. I'm down in Sidcup in Kent, so just southeast of London, and just wondering where you are, Tim, and what equipment you're using. In fact, I need to get that off of Terry as well. So M7 TLF M0 JCF. Yeah, 847, yeah, quite a popular radio, that, as older radios go. And the long wire working quite well. Sometimes you're nudging 9, but I'm logging you as a 5 and 8, Tim. There's a little bit of QSB on the signal, and I've whacked the receive filter up to full. It took some of the tinniness actually off of your audio. Your audio's still good, but wasn't as high and bright once I'd widened my filter on this particular radio. But yeah, Leicestershire, I know areas of Leicestershire fairly well. I haven't been up there for many years. I used to come off junction 20 or 21, I think it was. I used to know someone who lived Gilmorton, and I also know somebody, one of my drag race friends from way back in the day when I used to drag race motorbikes. He's in the Rutland area, so got an idea of the area. I couldn't say that I know it well to tell you where individual landmarks are, but I sort of know me way around it. Well, the long wire, I know you said you was using a long wire with a 49:1, so I take it you're using some sort of end-fed half wave, maybe tuned for 40 or 80 metres. My one's a random long wire. It's 90 foot. It's not resonant anywhere as far as I'm aware, and I use a 9:1. And the 9:1 unun's probably completely waterlogged now because it is absolutely hammering down with rain out there. Anyway, I'll tell you what we'll do, Tim. If you'd like to give Terry a call, Terry is Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo. If you want to give him a call and maybe swap reports and then hand back to me. M7 TLF M0 JCF in company with M7 GYK.
You drop down into the QSB. You were giving me a 9 earlier, but now you're down to around a 3. That's you. That's
Yeah, M0 JCF returning. Well, you're both signal strengths now are just above my noise floor and becoming a little bit problematic for my old man's ears and this old radio that I'm using. But, we got you both in the logbook and I really appreciate it. I think we've got all the information that I need today. And as I say, I won't hold the pair of you up only because you're struggling to hear each other. And I wouldn't say I was struggling to hear you, but definitely the band has changed in the last hour or so. Earlier, it was absolutely crystal clear. Lots of space, no QR Mexico. But I'd imagine what's happening now is a lot of the Europeans have finished work. They've gone home. They're all firing up their radios, and of course at the same time it's a bit early for the band to go longer, but it's, you know, it's a matter of time before it starts to become almost unusable for Inter G. But great to get a pair of you in the logbook. If you want to sit on the side and I can bring in anyone else, and if you would like a report, it depends, you know, who comes in. If you want to report, if you just give me a break, and I'll try and listen out for you. If not, thanks for joining me, and we'll catch up again soon. So over to you for any final first, please, Terry. M7GYK M0JCF in the group.
GYK returning to I'm getting totally messed up now, aren't I?
No problem, Terry. And M7TLF, Tim in Leicestershire. You got any final comments, mate? And if you want, you're more than welcome to just call in for a break if anyone comes up that you'd like to get a report from, other than myself and Terry. Terry's going to lurk in the background. M7TLF, M0JCF.
I'm going to go get some to it actually, Mark, so I'll give you and Terry at 73s. I'll leave the radio on, but I don't think I'll be going back on for a bit.
No problem, Tim. I mean, your signal picked up again, and that's the nature of the beast on Inter G on 40. 1 minute they're there, the next minute you're not. You say goodbye to someone, and bang, their signal comes up. But lovely to get you in the logbook, and thanks for the chat and the opportunity. Okay, QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England. Okay, someone was calling in, but unfortunately way below my noise floor. It's either that or somebody else is also using the frequency. I'll call again. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Okay, apologies if somebody's calling, just not hearing you. You're a readability 1. I think the signal strength may be there, signal strength 6 or thereabouts, because I can see the needle flickering, but I really cannot make out a call sign. Apologies for that. We'll do it again another day, I'm sure. But, you know, don't despair. If you hang around and maybe call in a few minutes, 40 metres is up and down by a couple of S points. CQ 40, CQ 40, CQ 40. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, CQ 40.
Good afternoon, Mark. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Golf 1, Golf Zulu Yankee calling.
Yeah, lovely, clear, strong signal there. Golf 1, Golf Zulu Yankee, if I read my handwriting correctly. Thanks for calling in. The name this end is Mark, as you know. I don't know why I'm repeating that. I'm in Sidcup in Kent. And I'll give you a report and technical details on the next over. And I may well be in company still with M7GYK. I know he said he was going to just listen on the side. He may ask you for a report. But G1 GZY M0 JCF.
Yeah, Roger on that, Mark. The name's Frank Foxtrot Radio
Alpha November Kilo. I'm 6 miles inland from Eastbourne on the Sussex coast. I think we've spoken before. I recognise the picture of the bike and you with the green and white leathers, Roger.
Yeah, that was in my misspent youth, a mere 10 years ago when I was drag racing motorcycles. Yeah, it's quite possible that we've worked before. But great to get you in the logbook again, Frank. 5 and 9 plus 10. Absolutely no problem with the signal strength, no problem with the audio. Today, Frank, I'm using a TS-830S, the old Kenwood Trio hybrid from about 1980-81 thereabouts. Running about 100 watts out the back of the radio into a random 90-foot long wire, and it's a 9-to-1 unan on the end of it, and then coax into the garage. Microphone's an MC50 desk microphone. I may be talking a little bit loud into it, or got the gain up a little bit too much, because every now and again I notice that the power level meter on the output of the radio, sometimes the needle hangs a bit, almost like, you know, I've been bellowing into the mic. But gee, you can let me know if it's good, bad or ugly. G1 GZY Frank, down on the south coast. M0 JCF Mark in Sidcup, Kent.
Yeah, Roger on that, Mark. Yeah, maybe just keep a little bit further away, another couple of inches away. Might make it a little bit better. There's not a lot wrong with it, to be honest. It's pretty good, but just a little bit further away might help. This is me. I'm about 15 inches away. Now I'm about 4 inches away. Maybe that's the difference that you probably can hear now, Roger.
Do you know what? My ears didn't detect any difference, mate. I'm 63, and I think many years of motorcycles, and when I was younger in various rock bands and punk bands, I was a bassist, and I think I've probably ruined myself for really hearing those subtle differences. But yeah, I'm about 6 inches away from the mic, but you know, it is what it is. I'm using an old radio, an old microphone and a random wire. Sometimes I surprise myself if it's working, but I'm not sure if Terry, who's in Ashford, so he's just the other side of a hill from me, down the M20, he's probably, no, he wouldn't be closer because he's eastwards from me, and you're south of me. So but the hill, obviously the hill ain't making any difference because we're running via Edvis type skip. So yeah, maybe Terry could give you a report, Frank. G1 GZY, do you want to give Terry Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo a call and see if he's still on frequency? Back to you.
No problem. Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo. Do you copy Mike? Sorry, Golf 1 Golf Zulu Yankee.
Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo. Frank. 520, perfect. This is over down the next street from me, Frank. Absolutely perfect, okay?
Well, that's very kind of you, Terry. We're using an Icon 7610. The microphone's an SM30. We're using a low dipole. We've got a trap on each end and it's good for 80, 40 and 15. About 7 metres in the middle, northbound it's about 6, and it's as flat as I can get it, because that was the longest bit of angle line I could get, 6 metres delivered, and I have a inverted V facing south, so that's what we're running. Acon 1010 and about 200 watts, Roger.
Running down the garden, south views on that one, and the microphones runs through M90, but you sounded absolutely crystal clear, Frank. Lovely modulation and lovely signal.
microphone, and I run a tuner, which is a Power Star Alpha Tango 2 Kilo Delta. If you look on my QRZ page, you'll see it all on there, Roger.
Roger's Frank, I'm actually looking on there now. Very nice looking station. I wish mine looked that neat. My radio something on stairs. I used to be in the shed at the bottom of the garden. But my wife passed last year, and my daughter's wanted me back indoors in the room. It's lovely now. I've got all the facilities around me. When I'm sat here now, there's no heating on, and the thermometer on my clock is reading 24 degrees C. So it's nice and cosy underneath my stairs. But I do like your station, Frank.
That's very kind. That's very kind. Yeah. You see, I'm into motorbikes as well. If you follow the page down, I bought a new one last year. So yeah, we're still playing. We should have rode last weekend, but the place we was going to was waterlogged, so the competition got postponed or cancelled, I should say. We belong to 2 clubs and we ride 2 clubs a month, and then hope to centres in between. So yeah, it's another hobby that I've had since I was 16, and this came along later. So there you go. How old was I? Let's think, 21, 24, 26, 27, about 27, I suppose, when I got on 11 metres, and I was on that for a long time. I've had my licence for, I looked at it yesterday, 42 years, Roger.
Ah, good. 42 years compared to you. Not even 18 months I've been at G7. Studying at the moment, also intermediate. And I think, would like a report from you. Would like a report. So M7 Golf Yankee Kilo returned the microphone lock to the 2 right?
Yeah, there's somebody else underneath of us there, Terry. You were, I'd say 10 over. But the audio is a little bit muffled, but I've got a funny feeling that could be something to do with what's underneath that's trying to come through on either 135 or 136. So there is a lot of QSB out there, Roger.
Yeah, we'll just do that one, Frank. Love the pictures of that. Very nice. I prefer older machines myself than a good old powder carburetor, a Dorso Bankston, anything like that. Lovely old machines, but there we go. It's each to their own. I'm going to pass the microphone back to Mark now, Frank. So, nice having a chat with you. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So, I'm going to go back to M0 JCF, Mike 7, Golf Yankee Kilo.
Yeah, M7 GYK M0 JCF. Well, thanks for handing back to me, Frank, and Terry. And Frank, yeah, nice of you to have that chat with Terry. I think it's always nice when we we have these multi-way conversations. I think 40 metres is classic for it. You know, you sit there, you call CQ for a minute or so, somebody joins in, and next thing you know, you've got an impromptu network going. It's always good fun. You know, people come and go. There's no sort of set like normal networks where you have people handing round the table, that sort of thing. I like these impromptu ones where you just have a random conversation with each other. Well, okay, yeah, look, what I'm going to do, Frank, is I'm just going to call out once more, see if anyone else wants to join in. Then I think I'm going to be calling it a day. As Terry may well be aware, it's absolutely hammering down here in the sort of Sidcup area. I'm not sure how it is in the Ashford area, just the other side side of the hill, but it's absolutely hammering down here. And I've got to get myself indoors, get a nice warm cup of coffee, and say hello to my wife, because we should be taking the dog out for a walk, but I can't see that happening just at the moment. So G1 GZY M0 JCF, any final comment, Frank? And you're more than welcome to hang around. M0 JCF in company.
Yeah, Roger on that. Yeah, no, normally there's about four of us. My mate John lives in Lincoln. Golf 7, Sugar Hotel Golf. Norman, Golf 0, Echo November Hotel, Northwest Leicestershire. And Bob, Golf 7, Echo Hotel Radio, East Devon. There's normally the four of us get on a frequency near 120. I haven't found them yet. So I just thought I'd join you. I looked at your page, I recognised the voice, I think. Yeah, you're up in, well, what it was, I heard you say South East England, and I thought, South East England, so then I've looked on your QRZ page and I saw Sidcup come up. Tell me, have you heard anything of Doug lately? Nobody's heard of him. Golf 6 INU, Roger?
Yeah, do you know what? I get asked that question regularly. I think every time I fire up 40 metres, someone will always say Sidcup, Doug, G6INU. No, we was discussing him yesterday. No one has heard from him since before Christmas. And yesterday we had a discussion. I think the last he was heard of was at the beginning of November, or it was the end of November. I know that was about the last time I heard Doug, and I've even had Gunter in Luxembourg ask me probably a week or so ago, once you know, he heard that I was in Sidcup, and I've spoke to Gunter a few times, but you know, sort of reminded him Sidcup, and he's asked about Doug. So half of Europe and half the UK is asking about him, and unfortunately no one seems to know. I was on the Cray Valley Radio Society Top Band Net just a week ago, just a week and a half ago, and exactly the same thing. We all discussed poor old Doug. We're hoping something's happened, like his antenna came down, and based on his age, etc., he just hasn't got round to putting it up. But normally you'd find him on 2 metres as well. He's joined our 2 metre net on Sunday. So I would say that, you know, if he couldn't get an antenna up for 40 metres, that he may well have gone on to 2 metres, you know. But as far as I know, no one's heard from him. So that's a long answer, which could have been just no, I haven't heard from him. But no, I wanted to give you the full SP, Frank. G1 GZY M0 JCF.
Yeah, Roger on that. I think there was a break station there for you, Mark. Yeah, okay. It's just that, you know, I used to hear Doug all the time. Spoke to him many times. But as he was in Sidcup, I thought you might have popped round his house or something, if you know where he lives. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with it. So there was a station out there that sounded like they wanted to come in on this one. So it's your band, so I'll leave it with you. Nice to talk to you, Mark, again. And you, Terry, you take care. And Mark, you ain't as old as me, buddy. I've still got 10 years on you. I was, no. How old did you say you were?
63.
12 years, sorry. I was 75 2nd of January, so yeah, we're pushing a little few more wines on the cable now. So yeah, still having fun. You take care. Kerry, all the best, buddy, and stay safe, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, many thanks for that, Frank. GZY 73s.
Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye, Terry.
Yeah, cheers. I think it was an M3 that called in, but thanks, Frank. Take care, and if I hear of anything, and I hear you on frequency, I hear anything of Doug, I'll be sure to break in and give you some updates. But yeah, he's the other side of Sidcup from me. I don't know his address, and unfortunately he doesn't have a email address on QRZ either, which has had people scratching their heads. They don't know where to go next. Okay then, I think there was a Mike 3 station. You were very weak when you tried to call in, but I'll try to get you in the logbook and give you a report. The Mike 3 station, go ahead, sir. M0 JCF. I think I've got Mike 3, Bravo Lima Oscar. You're really, really marginal. I would say that you're about a 4 and 7. My noise floor's 7 today, but the name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. I'm in Sidcup in Kent, just in between the Alpha 2 and the Alpha 20, both those motorways. And I'll give you a proper report, and I'll give you some technical details on the next over, so long as I can hear you. Apologies if I don't, but I've got you in the logbook, and I'll get you in the logbook as a 4 and 7 to start with. We'll see if we can improve upon that. M3 BLO M0 JCF.
M0 JCF, M3 demo. Good evening, my name is Marshall. I'm in East Lancashire, a place called Accrington, which is near
Yeah, okay, Marshall, in Accrington. Yeah, do you know what? There was an advert, weren't there, many years ago with Accrington Stanley, and I always remember the advert, and that's the only thing I know about Accrington is an advert from the 1970s where they mentioned Accrington Stanley. But yeah, you're 5 and 7 in the clear to me, Marshall. 5 and 7 in the clear. I'm using a TS-830S, an old hybrid radio. I'm using about 100 watts from the back of the radio. The microphone's an MC50 desk microphone, and the antenna is a random long wire. It's 90 feet long, about 25 feet off the ground. So that's the story, Marshall. We've got you in the logbook as a 5 and 7 initially. It could go one way or the other with 40 meters, you never know. Back to you. M3 BLO M0 JCF with hiccups.
Which is near Accrington and Burnley. I'm operating a 26 ICOM with an SM50 desk by the antenna is a Siemens XE880 vertical battery from M30.
Yeah, no problem, mate. All noted down in my paper logbook. Well, all things considered, from, I think you said Runcorn. I've been to Runcorn a few times for work, believe it or not. Way back at the end of the 90s, the early 2000s, I went to Runcorn a few times, and I drove across the very famous Runcorn Bridge. But so I do know the area. Yeah, I knew you was in Lancashire. I just wasn't sure of exactly where Accrington itself was, but now I do know, mate. But yeah, it's I'd say it's working as well as it can for 40 meters. You say you're right down on my noise floor, and your audio's flicking between radio 4, radio 5, and the signal levels hanging around Santiago 7. So all in all, you've made it into the southeast of England. I won't hold it with you, Marshall. Actually, I'll tell you what I will do, Marshall. We have someone else on frequency. We have Terry. He's Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo. He's in Ashford in Kent, so he's just down the road from me, relatively speaking, down the motorway 20. So what I'll do is I'll get Terry to give you a call, and you can swap reports with him as well. Get a 2-for-1 there, Marshall. So Terry, if you can still hear me, M7 GYK, would you like to give Marshall Mike 3 Bravo Lima Oscar in Accrington a call and give him a report?
Rogers on that mark. Mike 3 Bravo Lima Oscar. Half copy. Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo. Operator 2. Kilo Romeo Yankee.
He's right in the Oscar and things are overturned. You're right in the Oscar, I can't tell what he's saying. The 32
Frequency in use.
Phone call, which is the finally. I can't hear the other station, my friend. Andy back here, I was talking to from M3
Okay, M3BLO. Right, got that. So it's not Runkle. Okay, fantastic. It's all right. I'll log you in QRZ. I can find it there and I can pinpoint on the map where you are. But I know you're in Lancashire and that's good enough. You know I'm in Kent. And Terry, he couldn't hear you. You was right down in his noise floor and he couldn't hear what you were saying. So he handed back to me. No problem, Marshall. Well, Marshall, I did say a little while ago that I was going QRT very, very soon. And so what I'll do, if you want to hang around, I'll put out another call, see if anyone comes back to me. And if nobody does, I'll release the frequency to yourself or Terry and you can CQ away. But if someone else comes back, we'll just swap some more reports. So if you want to stand by, we'll see if we can get someone else in your logbook. Just stand by, everyone. QRZ, this is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England. Go again, sir. Okay, what's happening now? I've got lots of sideband splatter. It's just becoming a little bit difficult. I'm not sure if somebody's calling in or if it's just people now walking over the frequency. Now that all of the Europeans have come home from work, they've all switched their radios on, and 40 meters goes like that, and then all of a sudden we'll lose the into G, and it will go quite long. That's normally though at sunset, so I think it's just now everyone's just causing QRM. So I'll just put it out just once more. QRZ Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England, listening. Yeah, Golf 3 X-ray Romeo, and I'm pretty sure somebody in the background told me what to do in a way that suggests maybe I should go away. Well, the G3 XXR, you've gone over the top of him, and so we'll bring you in for a report. But the name this side is Mark Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm in the southeast of England, Sidcup in Kent. So let's get you in the logbook and I'll give you a report. G3 XXR M0 JCF.
M0 JCF G3 XXR. Okay, Mark, all copied. Good signal here in the north of England. Huddersfield between Manchester and Leeds. Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. And you're a lovely signal. Very nice signal up here. Yeah, somebody did tell you where to go, but maybe he's gone. Anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? You get these things. Yeah, lovely signal. I understand you're using a TS-520 here, a TS-520, which I've been renovating, which is still on the bench with no case on, and I'm still doing work on it. So there we are. So the noise working. So there we go. And I believe you're on a 530, if my memory serves me right. Back to you there, Mark, and you're a lovely signal up here in West Yorkshire. M0 JCF G3XXR.
Yeah, G3XXR. Well, I'm glad I wasn't hearing things. And there you go. It's the nature of the beast, isn't it? You know, people have got something to say and they need to say it into a microphone. Oh dear, what a shame. Never mind. But yeah, lovely to hear that you're putting a 520 together. Yeah, I've had 3 of those 520s. I don't own one at the moment. The nearest equivalent I've got to the 520, Roger, is a Yaesu Fox Tango 101 Echo, and I've been using that up till a few days ago when I swapped over to this radio. This radio is the 830S, not the TS-530S. It's the TS-830S. It's 100 watts or so out the back of the radio into a random long wire, 90 feet long, 25 feet off the ground. And yeah, it's a lovely radio. It's my favourite radio of all time is the TS-830S, a radio I wanted as a youngster but couldn't justify it, especially the cost. And as an adult, nostalgia put the prices quite silly heights. So I had a couple of 520s, and then luckily one of our club members decided he wanted to sell off an old club TS-830S, complete with antenna tuner and microphone, desk microphone and that, and for a real bargain, 250 quid. So that's what I did. And then straight after that, two more came along. But yeah, two of them have gone to new owners, and I'm running with this one. It comes out every now and again. This one's got a problem with the band switch, 10 megahertz, 21 megahertz, not playing ball. I don't even get a display on it, but it works well enough on 40, 80, and it works well enough on 10. So I don't really want to be smashing around inside it. But yeah, the 520, yeah, I've got bits of 520s around. I've got lots of spare parts for the 520, the 520S and the 520 SE. In fact, I've got a couple of front panels for them. They're within eye shot right now. So that's the story, Roger. G3 XXR M0 JCF.
Yeah, M0 JCF G3 XXR. All copies there, Mark. Lovely signal still. You're holding up really well. Hardly any QSP. Really nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is a 520S trio. 520S, and it had a hard life. It came into my life a while back, and it hasn't had any. It hasn't had a good life. It was kept in a very damp environment, and so there was a bit of rust here, there, and everywhere. And it hadn't been rust for years. So I've been slowly bringing it back to life. And I've been having the first QSOs on it yesterday. And strangely enough, the first guy I worked was using a 101E, a Yaesu 101E. So there we go, they're still around, aren't they? And that's a 530S, yes, I know it well, lovely rig. I don't have one, but if one came my way, I'd probably pick it up. I've two Yaesu 101ZDs here in the shack. One's the Mark 1 with no warp band, and the other's the Mark 3 with the warp band. So I've got those as well, and various other pieces of vintage equipment strewn about the place, some requiring a bit of TLC and some of them working, and you don't use one rig at a time. This is the rig of the moment, because I've put quite a bit of work into it, and it's a beautiful rig. The receiver on it is absolutely superb, and it's reasonably stable as well. And as you know, there's no digital readouts on here, it's all analog, so you know, you have to look at it to get the frequency that you're transmitting on. You have to give it a bit of a scrutinize to get anywhere near. But anyway, that's how it goes, and they're good fun rigs to work with, and great PA system on it as well. So there we are, that's more or less the rundown here. The antennas are just a dipole antenna resident on this fan, so no ATUs or anything like that in circuit. And I'm running a good 100 watts from the 26146s here. So back to you there, Mark. Hope you're copying okay still. M0 JCF G3XXR.
Yeah, G3, X-ray, Romeo, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot returning. Yeah, well, it's sounding really, really good. And yeah, you're running a single band dipole. I'm too lazy for that. I've got my random long wire up because I'm too lazy. Yeah, I do love the old hybrid radios. I like the old analog. As I say, the FT101E is the closest I've got at the moment to a 520. And yeah, I know what you mean about the dial. Quite often I think I'm on a frequency, and it turns out that I'm at least 2 kilohertz away from the frequency I thought I was on, which isn't a problem. So long as somebody tells me this is exactly the frequency you're on, then I'll just alter the dial slightly. You know, the same is with the 520. But lovely to hear that a few people out there still keeping these old hybrids and valve radios alive. I've got a Swan 350 that I really need to build a power supply for. I've had it for quite a few years now, and it came without the supply, so I need to build a power supply for that and get that on the air. I used to have lots of KW equipment, but I moved it all on to people that really are more enthusiastic with KW than myself. Anyway, Roger, there is somebody else on the frequency. We've got Terry in Ashford in Kent. His call sign's Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo, and if he's still on frequency, I'm going to get him to give you a call and also give you a report, Roger. So Terry, if you're still listening, M7GYK, if you'd like to give Roger in Huddersfield a Golf 3 X-Ray Romeo a call and maybe swap some reports, then hand back to me, please. Over to you, Terry.
Many thanks, Mark. G3 X-Ray Romeo Golf 3 X-Ray Romeo has got the rank 7 Golf Yankee Kilo.
Okay then, Terry, Mike 7, Golf Yankee Kilo, G3XXR, copying you okay there, Terry? You're not quite as strong as Mark, but keep tune 5. And the name at this end is Roger. I'm in Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. Just a quick one to you, Terry. I've got a KW2000A and a KW2000B in the shack here. Both up and running, but only one power supply. The other power supply, the transformers to put. So if I want to use either one, I have to use the same power supply. So that's another thing. I had to use the Swan that was a great rig. I'd love to get that up and running. I've never had one, but I always thought it looked like a great rig. Anyway, there we are. Back to you then, Mark. G3XXR.
Yeah, G3XXR M0JCF, absolutely fine on that. Yeah, the KW gear. Yeah, I had all the power supplies and everything. I had a couple of Vespers. I had two 2000Bs, two 2000As, a 2000, a 2000E. I had a couple of Atlantas. You know, I've had a big stack. I got it through a silent key sale. They went into his shed and garage, and there was a pile of rusty old wreckages, and all of this KW gear was in the middle of it. I've still got the KW linear amplifier, the KW1000, but it's sitting there. I've partially got it working, but the standby current is a little bit high at the moment, so consequently I'm not using it, and I'll get round to it at some point. But you know, I don't use linear amplifiers generally, and so I'm in no rush to get it working. And it looks like I'm I'm streaming this live, by the way, on Facebook, on one of the Facebook groups, and Tony is telling me I'm 5 and 9 plus 10 into West Yorkshire, so just around the corner from you there, Roger. Well, anyway, I am gonna do what that person kindly told me to do 10 minutes ago. I am gonna do that because it is 10 to 4. It sounds like, listening to the roof of the garage, that the heavy rain has stopped. So it'll be time to take the quadruped out into the rain and mud at the local park and let him do his business and whatever else, so it doesn't get all squished into my lawn and washed in by the rain. So with that thought in all of your heads, what I'm going to do, Roger, is I'm going to leave the frequency to Terry, M7GYK, and I'm not sure if you're going to have a QSO with him, but I'll leave him with the frequency, and if he doesn't want it, maybe he would like to hand it to you, and you can go from there. But I can see, like with the sideband splatter that's coming up, it's as I said before, everyone's come home from work now in Europe, and they've all had their tea, and they've all switched their radios on, so it can only get noisier from this point, especially as what, we're about an hour away from sunset, in which case it will become completely manic and unusable for Inter-G. Although saying that, Scotland and Northern Ireland will come in quite nicely. So it works two ways, doesn't it? Works in our favour and against our favour. But yeah, I'm rambling on. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. I'm going to wish you all very best 73. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for the people that are watching the live stream. As I say, I started that up today just to encourage people to think, oh, he's on the radio, and switch their old pieces of rubbish on. We're always talking in these Facebook groups about, you know, all the old vintage hybrids and pure valve radios, etc. And it's just trying to encourage people to switch them on. Having said that, most people are using modern solid state radios, and which isn't a problem, not a problem for me. But you know, if you don't know that we're out here using this old gear, then you're never going to talk to us. Right then, I'll say 73 to everyone. I'm handing the frequency to Mike 7 Golf Yankee Kilo. But you, Terry, and you, Roger, I hope you have a great evening. Listen out for me again if I'm on 40. I'm generally on 10 and 12, but if I'm on 40, come and say hello and we'll do it all over again. So I'll listen for a final first from you, Roger. Then I'll hand it over to Terry for a final for me, and then that'll be it. I'll be QRT. So G3 XXR M0 JCF in company with M7 GYK. Over to you, Roger.
Yeah, G3 XXR returning M0 JCF. Your thought of it. You're still coming in really well. Fantastic signal here. Mark, you're still 5 and 9. And you haven't dropped down at all. And the QRM's not so bad here. I'm not getting the splatter. So, but I can tell it's getting busy. There is noise, of course, coming up on either side of you. But that's 40 metres, and that's what happens. Yeah, okay. Thanks for the natter anyway. It's been nice to chat to you. And it's 53 to 53. I do have a multi-rig as well. I rarely use it. Yeah, I use it on CW mainly. I haven't tested this rig on CW yet, and it's something I'm going to do this afternoon. I've only used it on phone, and I was about to do it actually, to plug in plug in a straight key and see if it works and see how it's going. It might need a bit of setting up. But that's one of the things I'm going to do a little bit later on this afternoon. So there we are, that's it. But it's nice to work the old gear, I agree. But okay on all the KW stuff that you've had, that's fantastic. Yep, there's plenty of it about too, and it's nice to hear them on the air. The drift of it, but you know, we can cope with that. Okay, see you later. Hopefully we can work you again there, Mark. I'm 73 for now. I'll pass it round to you there, Terry, and hope you're copying okay too. M7 GYK ticket, G3XXR.
Yeah, G3XXR. Many thanks, Roger. Many thanks. All understood. And Mark, Mike 0 JCF. Great chat this afternoon. Nice bit of radio working going on there, mate. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. 73s, we've got you running now, mate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Terry. Really appreciate it, and great to get a few people in the logbook on 40 metres. Right, the frequency's yours, Terry, and I don't know if you want to carry on with Roger. Otherwise, hand it over to Roger, and if he don't need it, he can release it. But Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot is now QRT. He's going to do what that kind ham asked me to do earlier, and if you're listening, thanks for the advice taken on board. Bye-bye for now. M0 JCF clear.
No problems, Mark. Thank you very much. As long as it's taken on board, not upset. There we go. Roger. Yes, G3 XXR. Is the signal good enough for a tag?
Yes, it is. G3XXR returning. Yeah, I'm not staying on too long though, Terry. I've got a few things to do, and as I was saying, I want to check this rig out on CW. It's one I've been working on for days now, this rig. It was in a sorry state. I've put a fair bit of work into it, and it's working well now, but I haven't tested on CW yet, and I want to do that. So that's a little job I want to do myself. Well, I hope it's a little job. It might not work on CW for some reason. I'm hoping it does, but anyway, I'm going to check it out and see if I can get a CW QSO system to functioning. That's the plan anyway, so see how it goes. Yeah, so I'll have a quick chat with you, and then I'm going to get off and do that, and have a few other things I need to do this afternoon before the light goes.